They were once called heroes of the kingdom, symbols of strength and loyalty. But the day betrayal came, everything shattered. The 7 deadly sins, protectors of Lyonesse, were accused of crimes they never committed. Friends turned against them, and their names became curses whispered in fear. Yet truth doesn't die, even when buried deep. Meliodas, the leader of these so-called traitors, held faith stronger than any blade. He wandered through ruins, laughing, smiling, but behind that grin hid the weight of eternity. Every scar on his heart told a story of loss, and every battle he fought was for redemption. Because the sins were never villains, they were humanity's last hope. Love that defied the boundaries of time itself. That's what bound Meliodas and Elizabeth together. Their love wasn't a fairy tale, it was a curse. Each time she lived, she forgot him. Each time she died, he remembered everything. Over and over, through centuries of tears and fire, he found her again, only to lose her once more. It wasn't destiny, it was punishment disguised as devotion. The demon king cursed Meliodas with eternity, and the goddess cursed Elizabeth with endless rebirth. Their love became a cycle of pain and promise, a reminder that even gods envied the hearts of humans. And yet no curse could silence the pull between them. Because love, no matter how broken, always finds a way back to its beginning. Ban, the sin of greed, was the man who could not die. He drank from the fountain of youth, and his body stopped aging, stopped ending. But immortality can't protect the soul from sorrow. Ban's heart broke the day Elaine fell. He lived centuries chasing the scent of her memory, searching for something worth more than eternity itself. And when he found her again, the world seemed to pause. Because some things are stronger than time. His greed wasn't for gold or glory. It was for one more heartbeat beside her. Even when death was no longer an option, Ban proved that love still costs everything. That sometimes living forever is the cruelest curse of all. Then came Escanor, the lion's sin of pride, a man who became a god with the rising sun and a shadow of himself when it fell. His power was beauty and tragedy intertwined, a fire too bright for any mortal vessel. At dawn, he stood unshakable before gods. At dusk, he was frail, human, and fading. But that weakness made him real. Escanor's pride was not arrogance, it was love. Love for his comrades, for the light he served, and for the woman he could never hold. Every battle he fought was a poem of sacrifice, each breath defying the gods who cursed him. When he smiled at the end, knowing it was over, it wasn't defeat, it was acceptance. Because even the sun must set to rise again. Merlin, the boar's sin of gluttony, was not hungry for food or power, but for knowledge. She consumed wisdom like others breathe air. But what happens when you know everything and yet understand nothing about yourself? Her mind was infinite, but her heart was lonely. Born between gods and demons, she belonged nowhere. Her loyalty to Meliodas wasn't just trust. It was admiration for someone who defied fate. Merlin saw what others couldn't, that Meliodas' rebellion wasn't against gods, but against the cruelty of destiny itself. She followed him. Not because he was strong, but because he represented hope. And even in silence, her magic whispered one truth. Knowledge without love is emptiness disguised as power. Now for those who stayed until the end, here's your bonus. The truth behind Meliodas' strength. It was never the Demon King's power that defined him. It was his heart, the one that refused to stop feeling. Every loss, every curse, every tear fueled the fire that made him who he was. His rage wasn't evil, it was grief turned to resolve. That's why Meliodas stood where even gods fell. Because true strength isn't born from perfection, but from the will to love through suffering. The 7 deadly sins were never symbols of sin, they were symbols of humanity's greatest virtues in disguise. Pride, greed, lust, envy, sloth, wrath, gluttony, each when redeemed became a fragment of light. Together they rebuilt the world that once condemned them. So if this story touched you even a little, you'll already carry part of their spirit. Like this video, comment your favorite sin, and subscribe for more hidden stories from Nanatsu, no Taizai, and beyond.